Hello and welcome to CodeSketched. In our previous video, we looked into Redux and how it helps us manage state. To summarize it here, Redux allows us to store the state in a central location, access it from wherever it is required, and also allows for updates from anywhere in our React tree. But there's a problem. Redux is bloated and there's a lot of boilerplate setup that needs to be done while starting a Redux project. For the same reason, even the official docs recommend using Redux toolkit. That is what we will be looking into today. This video is sponsored by Flagsmith. More about them later. Let's start with the first step, that is setting up the Redux store. For this purpose, Redux toolkit provides us with a function called configure store. It is invoked like so, and it takes reducer slices as one of its inputs. We will look into what those are in a moment. When this function is called, it also does several things in the background, like call combined reducers, initialize the Redux thunk middleware, and set up Redux DevTools. It returns us a store object that can be passed to our provider. All this with a single function call. Without the configure store function, we would have had to combine the different reducer slices ourselves using combined reducers, import the Redux thunk middleware, and apply it along with the Redux DevTools middleware too. Redux toolkit takes care of these most commonly used defaults for us. Let us now look at the reducer slices that we used earlier and how Redux toolkit helps us create them. Roughly speaking, the slices are the different building blocks that make up the entire state, like the to-dos and filters in this example. This is what an individual slice definition looks like. There's a lot going on here, so let's take it step by step. We are providing a name to the slice, supplying an initial value, and several reducer functions. At the end of the file, we are exporting the reducer key from the object that gets generated. Let us take a closer look at one of the reducer functions next. This is the to-do added reducer function. Notice how it is being called with the state and an action similar to the reducer function in Redux code. But this is an independent function linked to a particular action, and thus we don't need a switch statement inside it. When that action is triggered, this code is run, which adds the to-do information supplied in the action to the store state. Also, notice a peculiar behavior that we are mutating the state variable by directly pushing to it and not creating a copy. That is because Redux toolkit calls the immer library in the background and creates an immutable copy of the state for us. Another benefit of using Redux toolkit. But you might be wondering how to dispatch the action that invokes this reducer function. Remember the code we looked at earlier. We get the actions created as a side effect of using the create slice function. Let's see how that works. Whenever we create any slice using the create slice helper, we can call the dot actions on it, and we get all the actions we can call to invoke the reducers. We can then import those actions inside our React component and call them using the dispatch function provided by Redux toolkit. This invokes that particular reducer with the payload supplied. Notice how we did not need to manually create the actions by defining these action creator functions. That saves us from writing a lot of boilerplate code. Let us look at accessing the state, which is very much similar to Redux code. We have the use selector helper that takes in a function which lets us select the inner state from our store. Here, we access our to-do slice from the whole store. This component will re-render whenever the to-do slice changes, providing us with fine-grained reactivity. Taking the example of a store with a simple counter, this is the amount of boilerplate reduction we can expect to see. Quite a difference to the developer experience, isn't it? An added benefit of using Redux toolkit is that we have the option of using RTK query. It is an advanced data fetching and caching library that integrates seamlessly into the Redux toolkit and provides several features like tracking loading states, avoiding duplicate calls, and caching. It is an optional add-on on top of Redux toolkit that is worth checking out. And that's everything we need to know for getting started with Redux toolkit. If you work with complex code bases, you might want to check out the sponsor of today's video, Flagsmith. It is an open source feature flag management solution that allows us to do A/B testing, user segmentation, and incremental releases with an option to self-host too. Check out the link in the description if interested, and see you in the next one.